The effect of the slowing oil prices in particular off by 50%. What is it having, the havoc it's wreaking on some of these multi-billionaires?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just oil, it's aluminum, it's copper. The slowdown in China is just rippling through everything. So as you said, the 65 billionaires that we track on our daily index of the 400 richest people, they had about $730 billion last August. They're down about $90 billion today. There was a bit of a sell-off yesterday as well. So, and then you see situations like, Glencore, which had a terrible day 2 days ago. Ivan Glasenberg is a perfect example. I mean, this is a company that trades exclusively in commodities. His fortune was $9.4 billion last August. It's now down to about $3 billion. I mean, it's just, the values aren't there anymore. The asset values are plummeting.
Your heart bleeds. But tell us about, who else is gaining and losing? There must be some other key players.
Yeah, there's some interesting arbitrage that's going on in the business, and you see it in Russia, you see it in China. There's a couple of Chinese commodities billionaires who have actually increased their fortunes, and they have this advantage that something like Glencore doesn't, which is that they sell in U.S. dollar terms, and they actually have their expenses in local currency. So you see this mainly in China and in Russia, where fortunes have actually gone up because the dollar is so strong. Yeah. They're collecting so much dollars, and they may not have big capex this year, so they're basically paying their operating costs to mine, to pull the resources out in local currency, selling in U.S. dollars. So a few of the commodities billionaires have actually gone up, but in the aggregate, it's just not a pretty situation.
Lothar, is this, from your perspective, this not pretty situation going to get any rosier anytime soon, or is the commodities route here to stay for the time being?
I think we have to concede that the commodity supercycle has come to a premature end, but that was very much a side effect of quantitative easing, in my opinion, just because the wrong price signals increase capacity so much that we now have an oversupply. Demand is growing, but this is a supply-side problem, and yes, I'm afraid they're not going to get their riches back, but then it was always paper money, paper gains really on there anyway, so...
They could be selling their assets too quickly.
No, not really.
Rob, give us just the odd other surprise. Is there anyone else we should be keeping an eye on the list?
Yeah, it's a related industry, but it's perhaps not a surprise in retrospect. But there's a billionaire you've probably never heard of. Most have never heard of. Alois Woben. He's a German billionaire. Owns a company called Enercon. He's not retired, but he founded the company. Basically makes wind farm equipment. As you might imagine, this is actually quite a good business right now. There's a lot of enthusiasm for alternative energy. So his fortune's actually gone up. I don't think it's double, but it's getting close. He's about $6 billion right now. I mean, it's if you're not in the oil space, but you're trading in the energy space, there may be some bright side if that's where you want to place your bets.
Go greener.
Yeah.